Hi knitting friends! I am Caffeinated Granny. I am a knitter and crocheter from Norway, currently living in Lisbon. I really wanted to start a channel geeking out about yarn and knitting. I really missed that from back home in Norway. You know, there's a big community there of knitters. We're usually quite home buddies. We sit inside in front of the fireplace, we knit, that type of vibe. And when I moved to Lisbon, I was really missing that community here. So I thought, why don't I tap into this amazing YouTube community that's grown so much since the pandemic? So today I am planning to talk about some finished objects as well as some in progress and talk a little bit about my trip down to the south of Portugal. So stay tuned. The first finished object that I want to talk about is the Cumulus tee by Petite. I'm sure you've seen this before. It's a simple raglan construction knit up on 3mm needles. For this one I used the pattern recommended, which is Pure Silk by Knitting for Olive. It's in the colorway Dusty Artichoke. It looks like this. In real life I would say that this is slightly more grey than what it looks like on the website, but still it has a really lovely green sheen to it. And I knitted this as a gift knit for my boyfriend's sister, so she's going to be getting this. It's in size medium. As you can see, the silk, Pure Silk, has a really nice drape and it looks lovely on. I did do a couple of mistakes with this. This is the first time that I'm knitting with Pure Silk, and I didn't realize how unforgiving it was, because I usually, like when I knit something that I'm not quite happy with or whatever, I'll frog back and I'll fix it, you know? With silk, when you do that, it's really easy to like stretch the stitches. So when I was going back to fix stuff, or like if I didn't like the tension in some place or whatever, I would go back and fix it, and then it would just be worse. So what ended up happening is that on the neckline, as I was picking up stitches, I wasn't so happy with like the way that I was picking up stitches, so I would like do it over and over again on this side, and then I ended up getting like these huge holes because the stitches would stretch so much. And then of course by the end, when I got to this side, I had learned my lesson and it was like perfect here. So because it was so good here, on the other side it just looked completely unforgivable. Like I couldn't give that away in that state. So I had to teach myself how to like undo stretch stitches. So here's another big hole, and if I flip it over, this is what it looks like on the back side, right? So I'm gonna start tightening this so I can see this is the hole, and I can see that this thread connects to here. So if I go ahead and take this stitch and sort of drag it up, you can see that this got tightened, right? Which is great, this is what we want. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna continue to trace this thread on this row all the way back for a while until this thread here is, or this stitch becomes long enough for me to cut into and then tie together as a knot. We're gonna trace this thread back. So the way that I do this, I give it a little tug, and I can see that this thread started to move when I did that. Okay, cool. And then I can see that this sort of connects up here, and then this thread connects here, and then this thread connects here. And then I'm just going to continue like this for a while until this thread here, this stitch, is long enough for me to cut into and then do a knot with. I couldn't really find, sorry, please let me know if there are better solutions for this, but it seemed to work quite well. I really like this knit. Overall, it took a long time to do because of all the stockinette, and I was quite bored at the end. And the amount of times that I was thinking, like, can this just be a bralette? Would she be okay with wearing a bralette? I think it's one of those things that you just need to like go through, and once you do it, you're so happy because it's such a gorgeous piece to have in your wardrobe. A staple, goes with anything, and it looks beautiful. My next finished object is the Blouse #1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It's the light version. I knitted this up with 2 strands of kid silk by drops held together, and this was actually a project that was, well, it was leftover yarn from a cardigan that I made some time ago. This is my own design, hence why it's a bit I love the yarn choice for this. I used 2 strands of sky from drops held together with 1 strand of kid silk mohair, and I love that combination. It's so soft, it's quite heavy. That might be a drawback, but really in winter this is perfect. It also has a really lovely color. Like, I'm not used to, I usually just wear black and white, but this year I'm trying to branch out. So this one I knit in about, I think, like 3 or 4 days. It was really quick to knit, very enjoyable on the 6mm needles. It's one of those projects that I really needed because I just finished the Cumulus tee, which was a lot of stockinette, and it sort of demotivated me a little bit. So a quick knit like this was exactly what I needed. And I was lucky enough to knit this while I was in the Algarve with my partner and my dog. So really good memories tied to this piece. I highly recommend this pattern if you have like a spare kid silk mohair or alpaca, brushed silk, something like that. This only took 4 skeins. I mean, I wish it was a little bit longer because it is quite cropped. And in the pattern photos, you can see that it's meant to be much longer than this, but I'm still very happy with it and would recommend this pattern. The last finished object that I have is actually a pattern that I made myself. Breezy, oversized top. And my main goal for this, it was supposed to be bra friendly, so which it is, which is good, so I'm very happy with it. You can see that like it can sort of be worn on both sides, so sometimes I feel like we're showing off a little bit more at my neckline, so I'll wear it this side, and then other times I just want it higher up, so I'll wear it like this. This is something that I usually do when I create my own patterns, just because I like to have that variation. This was knit with drops Safran in this lovely sort of minty color. It's a very affordable yarn. I bought 1 skein for $1.25 and I used 3 skeins for the whole top, making it €3.75 for a top. You can't really beat that nowadays, can you? And it's crocheted up on 3.5mm needles. The structure is quite basic. You start off by just casting on stitches for this part, and then you crochet down here, and then every time you're at the beginning of a row you increase by 1 until you get to here. And then you put those stitches on hold, you do the other side, and then once you've done both of those sides, you cast on more stitches here, and then you just crochet while you increase to make the armholes. And then once you've got the armhole length that you want, you stop there and you do this exactly same thing on the other side. And I didn't do any increases after the armhole, so it's quite boxy, just straight down, just like I wanted. I really was missing like a garment to wear on the beach and just to look more casual in the summertime here in Portugal. Coming from Scandinavia and then living in London, my style is very boring, very black and white, very basic. And here in Lisbon, you should see how the girls dress. It's amazing. They have so many colors. They're not afraid to like mismatch, and they just look awesome. I wanted to tap into that vibe, so I was like, I want to make a green top because that's really crazy for me. So this is where that came from. It's also blocked, and I stretched it out quite a bit on the sides when I was blocking it, just because I really wanted like an oversized and breezy fit, especially for the heat waves here in Portugal. Like right now it's 34 degrees outside. But yeah, so this pattern is very easy to do yourself. And if you follow like the structure that I just explained, you start with this part, you connect, and then you go down, boom, you do the same thing for the other side, and then you just crochet. It's very easy to do if you just take your own measurements, and it's a great way to get into pattern designing. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I thought I could show you a little bit of what I have on my needles currently, so my works in progress. First up, I've got a pattern by Knitting for Olive that's called the Olive Cardigan, that features this beautiful petal design. I love it. It's the first time I'm doing anything like this, so it's very exciting. It keeps your mind active all the time. You're always, in the beginning, I think it's quite difficult to get into because you literally have to read from 4 different charts on every row. So in the beginning, that was quite daunting to me, but once you like memorize the pattern after like after the first 2 pedals, it's quite easy to remember, and then, it's more automatic, which is good. So I'm currently on the sleeve here, and it's going relatively quick. This is for a 5-year-old girl, or she's going to be 5 next week, so I'm on track to finish it. It's gonna be good. And I'm using Knitting for Olive merino in ice blue, and I'm using I think it's called Soft Silk Mohair by Knitting for Olive as well, also in the ice blue. So together it's such a lovely combo. I don't know if it shows on camera, maybe it's better in this light, but it's just this beautiful neutral ice blue, and I am in love with it, and also considering doing it for myself. And then the second thing that I've got on my needles is my own design. So basically, I still have this top from, this is gonna like reveal how old I am, but from American Apparel. And it's probably like 10 years old. It's one of my favorite tops ever. It's like a halter neck, and it's just very elegant, very simple design. And I've been looking out for something like that for ages, and I couldn't find it. So I was like, why don't I just knit it? So at the moment, this is very messy. I'm working on a top like that, and I think it's gonna be really lovely. So yeah, right now I'm on Stockinette Island, and I'm going to be there for probably 2 more days. This is knit up on 4mm needles, and I'm using Sandnes garn Line in a colorway. I'm not sure what it's called, but let me get the label. Okay, I've got the label here, and it just says farge 856. Okay, so the color is 8561, and it's like a green gray fabric. I'm back the next day. I wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it, and hopefully there'll be a lot more coming in the future. I wanted to add a quick note to say that I'm really sorry for all the construction noise that's been going on in this video. I can't say that I noticed it because I've been living in the center of Lisbon for years now, and there's always construction going on. You know, it's a very hot spot to be in right now. So there was like construction on that side, behind, on the side, everywhere really. And you can really hear that, especially in the beginning. So I'm sorry if that was off-putting, and if you stuck with me all the way to the end here, listening to that sound, thank you so much. So if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. And also, please let me know what your knitting plans are for this summer. I still haven't really figured out what summer plans I've got in terms of knitting. Like I am making that tank top, that work in progress that I showed you, but otherwise I don't have anything planned. You know, I'm a big like oversized sweater type of girl. So I feel a bit lost in the realm of summer tops. Please let me know what you're knitting, if there's anything cool that I should be checking out. And thank you so much. And until next time, see you.